What's up, y'all? I'm Molly. You're watching Mirror Readings, and today we're talking about the Gene Keys Noble Code. I feel like I should have come across this before now. I've been in the system for like the last 10 years, but this is an ethical agreement for all of those working with the Gene Keys. It seems pretty important, so let's unpack it. I love this document because I feel like we're on a shared mission together, and this is Richard Rudd and the Gene Keys core team clarifying like the specific purpose of transformation, becoming the best version of ourselves, stabilizing in our gifts, facing our shadows. It's like these are all the shared reasons to do it. So everyone who's studying this system and working with these keys is kind of moving towards a similar goal, which I love. So we're all invited to embody these guidelines to the best of our ability in our daily personal, professional, and relational lives. So here we go. This is described as the fine art of equilibrium, and the goal is to balance these states within ourselves: listening and sharing, freedom and boundaries, self-care and service, honesty and kindness, mysticism and ordinariness. So we're bringing the balance of those poles to the following guidelines. All right, number 1 is intention. I intend to keep my heart and mind as open as possible. Love that. I wish to grow and learn from all my interactions, even uncomfortable and challenging ones, especially uncomfortable and challenging ones. Number 2, frequency and tone. I make every effort to share with others in a respectful and empathic manner. I acknowledge when my own worldview is temporarily influenced by fear or self-limiting thoughts. Number 3, respectful feedback. I communicate with others in a way that I wish to be communicated with, and I am willing to listen to constructive feedback and work with it. Number 4 is honesty, being fully committed to facing our shadow and working on it. I recognize that every relational issue I face has a secret higher purpose and holds some deeply valuable lesson for me. Whew. I have to remind myself of that all the time. Number 5 is integrity. I am committed to my own personal growth and consciousness expansion, as well as the growth and consciousness expansion of others. So I work to recognize and change the limiting attitudes and behaviors that I've learned over time. And this is always a challenge for me. I reach out for help when I need it. Number 6, orientation and synchronicity. So this one is about, particularly when we have something to communicate to someone that might be sensitive, picking the right time and place to share that communication, not allowing our ego or like what might be some false sense of urgency allow us to dominate someone else's experience, right? We trust in the process that will come from taking this sensitive approach. Number 6, orientation. I'm just reminding myself because orientation is the gift of my core, all right? Where my core wound becomes my core stability, which becomes my vocation. I have the gift of orientation there. So this is just me reminding myself to trust the timing of life and really make a point to consider someone else's experience before my own when it comes to sharing information, particularly something that might be a tough conversation. Number 7, peace and conflict. I understand that conflict can be a stepping stone to a healthy, evolving community. Whew, I love that. I make every effort to resolve conflicts as they arise. When I'm not able to do this on my own, I reach out for support, facilitation, or mediation. Number 8's the hardest one of all, not gonna lie. It's intimacy and gentleness, and it means committing to the very difficult task of returning non-love with love. I work alongside others to co-create a feeling of deep safety that allows for all feelings to be felt and embraced. Whew, easier said than done, but we're working on it. Number 9, transparency. I commit to engaging in communications that promote clarity and purpose for all parties involved. I hold myself and others accountable to the agreements that we make, and when there has been confusion, I take ownership for creating clarity. All right, and finally, number 10, repair and patience. Patience requires us to trust the timing of life, right? Again, easier said than done. But I acknowledge when my words or actions have hurt others, and I offer heartfelt apologies when appropriate. I trust in the natural process of healing and reconciliation without placing any expectations on others, and through that, I practice patience. I trust the divine timing of life. And finally, we're asked to consider taking a gentle approach as we cultivate humility through embodying these guidelines. So Richard Rudd lists 4 values at the end of this document to consider as we're studying our profile, the profiles of others, and working with these values to embody the highest state of our gifts. So contemplation, yes, it's contemplating the lessons, but it's also taking full responsibility for the state of our own inner being. It's using the lessons to cultivate a state of inner being that's more to our liking. And it's using everyday challenges for growth and transformation. Inquiry is the second value to contemplate. And inquiry is about asking ourselves profound, introspective questions and maybe not rushing for an answer right away. We can wait for the answer to arise. Next up is gentleness, which urges us to take a kind and let's call it a measured approach to anything that we're doing. It's being gracious towards self or others rather than trying to strive or fix something. It's more of a vibe of, they say, unwinding and unlearning, right? They identify unwinding and unlearning as the opposite of striving and fixing. And finally, just as we ended the guidelines, it's patience again. It's trusting the timing of life. Cultivating that as an underlying value is like having this very smooth baseline that runs through all of our interactions. Everything we do in life is inherently synced up with the natural rhythm of life because we're trusting its timing. Now that we're clear on our ethical agreements, we can get back to our regularly scheduled Gene Keys programming. I'm Molly, you're watching Mirror Readings, and would you like to get a reading from me? If so, please come visit me over on mirrorreadings.com, and you can subscribe to this channel to save 15% on all my offerings. See you next time.